Hi, this is James Cook of the University of Maine at Augusta, and today we're going to go through an example of doing some cultural research through the social media form of Twitter. Twitter is a social media platform on which people can post up to, but no longer than 140 characters at a time, meaning they have to make a decision. What's really important for them to describe, what's really important for them to say, and they will only say that much, because there's no more space to say anything else. So this is a great way to study culture. Culture is the set of beliefs about the way the world is, values about the way the world should be, and we can see expressions of both of these on Twitter. Now, we're going to engage in inductive research, qualitative research, in which we're not going in knowing exactly what to expect. Instead, we're going to look for patterns in what we find, and we're going to construct categories based on simply what we see, and then describe what we find. That's what I want you to do, and I want you to work with the hashtags men and women. I'm going to work with a different hashtag here today, simply so I don't step on your toes. What is a hashtag? A hashtag is something that is used in social media, like on a platform like Twitter, in order to say, this is a subject of my tweet. So if the hashtag, which looks like a pound sign or a number sign, and then a word occurs, you know that the Twitter post is about that. So if I type in the hashtag number sign in the search bar up at the top of Twitter, going to twitter.com, and then I type in boys, and I hit enter to start a search, I'm going to get search results. If I click live for the most recent search results, then I am going to get a series of Twitter posts. And they're going to tell me some things. I'm going to find out time here. If I see this 29S, if I hover over it, it tells me when it happened. I know that happened 29 seconds ago. Very recent. The next most recent is 2M, 2 minutes. Then 6M, 6 minutes. So you can see that there are a lot of people, 8M, 8 minutes, a lot of people doing a lot of searches, or excuse me, making a lot of posts using this hashtag boys with the subject boys. And I can continue going down, and you can see you're not going to have any problem with volume. Just another typical Monday night, paintball, birthday, boys. That's the subject. So you're going to take this kind of information and you are going to obtain the 30 most recent, both for the hashtag men and the hashtag women. And then I want you to characterize all the tweets by creating some categories. And here's how you might do it. In order to categorize things in general, pieces of information, there's a kind of program that you'd want to use called a spreadsheet. And through your university account, here's mine, I'm going to log in, you have access to a spreadsheet program called Google Sheets. Once you've logged in, you'll find a launch pad, and you should look for a 3-colored green, yellow, and blue kind of triangle shape. That's Google Drive, and you'll want to click that. And then you'll find that there's a red button on the left, and you'll want to hit that. And now it's going to ask you to say, well, what do you want to create that's new? And you want to create a spreadsheet. That spreadsheet program is called Google Sheets. We're going to want to do that because we're categorizing information, and because we're going to create a bar chart in Google Sheets. Okay. So now what I have here is a set of rows and a set of columns. Columns go up and down, rows go left to right. And these columns and rows allow me to organize information. That's all a spreadsheet really is. So I'm going to want to describe, and I'm just going to work with one hashtag list today, and that's going to be one that says hashtag boys. And I, just to be quick in this video, I'm only going to look at the 10 most recent. So I'm going to go back to Twitter, and we're going to take a look at that search now for boys, and I'm always going to click the live feed because it gives me the most recent. Now I'm going to go through and I'm going to click and then drag my cursor to highlight that information. Then I'm going to, in Windows, right-click, and I can copy. You can always hit Control-C, I think Apple-C in Windows, and that's put it in my clipboard. Then I can head back over to my spreadsheet, and I'm going to describe a set of tweets. I'm going to give them each a number, and it's an arbitrary number. It just means this is the first tweet. And here is the, if I click edit and paste, I'm going to paste in the text. Okay. And it says total sports coverage, and that was the header. And then I need to move the body in here. Okay. And so I've moved the body over to its own cell. Each box is called a cell. And you notice if I click on the lines and drag, I can make each of these cells a little bit bigger so I can see everything in them. Okay. And now I can see all my information. You'll notice, or I'll tell you, that I've arranged this information in a very particular way so that each column is a particular kind of information that's going to change. It's going to vary. In other words, it's a variable. Every variable, everything I can study about Twitter that can possibly vary about a tweet is going to have its own column. And I'm going to have my first tweet, my second tweet, my third tweet, my fourth tweet, and so on. I'm going to have each of those having a different row. And then I know when I look at these columns that I'm going to have to fill all those boxes. It helps organize my thinking. So I've gone and I've collected my first tweet. Why don't I go back and get my second one? Well, I'm going to head right back down. Okay, and I know if I head over here, okay, and I copy again, that I can put information in. Now, it looks like I always have to move around the actual text of the tweet. Okay, but that's fine. I'll head right back and I will scroll down and get the third. And the fourth. And so on. And now I'm probably going to speed this part of the video up. So here I have them. I have 10 tweets, I have text, I have a header, and I have a tweet number. But I'm going to want to do more. I'm going to want to start to look at the text of those tweets and to think about what categories they're in. So I'm going to take a look at my first tweet, and I'm going to make the text of this work a little bit bigger so you can see it. So the first thing I notice when I'm looking in the header is that there's a reference to sports. And HSBB, Final, and Georgia seems to be content about sports. So I'm going to create a category called sports. And I'm going to put a 1 in there. And the 1 means, yes, it's occurring there. So that's a category that I'm aware of that is occurring for this Twitter post. Do I see any other references? No. Boys isn't in there, but of course it would be. I see for the second a reference to One Direction, which is music. And I'm going to give it that category of music. That's my understanding of it. So, what else do I see? Well, if I head down to my third row, I see a number of hashtags which are saying some things about what this Twitter post is about. It is talking about race. And now you notice I'm not putting music or sports in here because I don't see music or sports hashtags. It's not just talking about race. It's using the term gay. And it is also referring to the social media platform Instagram. Okay. So I'm going to work with that. Now I'm going to continue going down, and I'm going to say, okay, here's Bieber fan. Okay, who's Bieber? Okay, well, he is a musician. So I'm going to put a 1 for music here. What about race or sports? I don't see anything about that. I do, however, see information about hair and fashion. So I'm going to create 2 new hair and fashion references. Those are categories. And I'm going to put 2 1s in there to indicate that, yes, this is about hair and fashion. Now, what else do I see? If I head down to the next Twitter post or tweet, I notice a reference to clothing. Because this is a newborn pack of bodysuits that is for sale. And do I see anything about shopping? Okay, a reference to shopping. So I'm going to type in shopping. Very good. I see more shopping and more clothing. So this is the second time I see those 2. I see here certainly shopping, race car, toddler bed, but a category for furniture. Okay, and then I see shopping and radio flyer, a scooter. So I'm going to create a category called recreation. And then I see over here something about the world's coolest dad, boys, and Instagram. So there's a reference to Instagram here, okay? So I see column H is about Instagram, so I'm going to write down there, and then I'm going to create a category, a new one, called fathers. So do you see how this goes? Every time I see a new concept, I'm creating a new column for it. And every time I observe it, I'm putting in a 1. Why am I putting in a 1? Because I'm going to count these. But let's do that one last tweet. Just another typical Monday night paintball birthday boys. So, birthday paintball. Now, paintball is a sport, right? So I'm going to want to describe this as paintball and birthday and sports. Okay, now I've finished this for my 10 tweets. I have a series of categories and I have it for one hashtag. What do I want to do now? Well, I want to get a general summary of what's going on. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So there we go. So I have a series of 1s and 0s, as you can see. Okay, actually just 1s. And I'm going to want to sum those up. So I'm actually going to take my labels and I'm going to click and drag over them and then right click and select copy. Then I'm going to put down at the bottom a pasted set of them again. And I'm going to paste them. So now I have my labels down at the bottom so I can always see which categories I'm talking about. And then I'm going to want to add all of those up. Now to do that, I'm going to want to use a formula, and it's going to be called equals sum. To sum is to add up. So I'm going to type in equals, S-U-M, and then I'm going to put in a parenthesis, and I want to add up all the 1s in a column. How would I do that? Well, I would scroll back up to the top, and I'd say, oh, look, there are labels here. The label for the column is D here, and 2, D3, D4, D5, and it's going to keep on going all the way up to D11. So I want to type in sum D2, and then I want it to say to D11. So I put a colon in between, that's the 2 dots, between D2 and D11, and that means add everything up from D2 to D11. And I have a number, 2. That number 2 means that there have been 2 references to sports inside this set of 10 tweets. You're going to have 30 for each hashtag. Okay, now what about music? Well, I'm going to want to do the same thing, except this is column E, so I'm going to want to sum up E2 to E11, and apparently there were 2. What about references to race? Equals sum F2 colon F11, and so on and so forth. Just one reference equals sum G2 to G11 equals sum H2 to H11, and so on. Now, if I go ahead and do this, all the way across, I have a set of numbers. These numbers allow me to do what? To create a bar chart. So how do I create a bar chart? I'm going to do that by clicking and covering over, dragging over all of these numbers, which are describing the total number of references per category, and all of the labels. Then I'm going to want to hit Insert, up at the top, and then Chart. Now, hopefully, Google Drive is going to give me a nice bar chart. And look, it suggests one. It recommends one for me. It looks kind of nice. And that is a bar chart that seems to indicate the number for each category. So I'm going to say, yes, I really like that. And look, there it is. Now, there's a few problems with it that I can see. The first is that not all of the categories are included. There's sports and race, but where's music? Well, for some reason it decided not to put it in there. I think because it's not wide enough. So why don't I make my picture a little bit bigger? Oh, look, they popped right in. So that's great. So now, that's good. The only other problem is that I should always label each axis, right? That's a general rule. You should have learned that in high school. So how do I do that? Oh, look, up here in the upper right-hand corner, there's an icon. If I hover over it, it says Quick Edit. So I'm going to click on it. And see what I get. Okay, I'm not getting anything. So I'm going to go to this little tiny triangle instead. And this happens sometimes. I'm going to hit Advanced Edit. There we go. Okay, if one option doesn't work, try the other. And I should give my chart a title. Look, see, there are all these things to fill in here. So what's my title? Number of Twitter posts. I'm just describing what it is with the hashtag boys, that's my hashtag, with the following categories. And let's click update and see what happens. Oh, there it is. Now I have a title. I'm going to head back. I'm going to click on the image. I'm going to hit that triangle again, Advanced Edit. And now I want to scroll down and look for some more. Axis horizontal. I'm going to want to type in category because that's my axis title for the horizontal axis. And then I'm going to want to keep going down. And do I get, under axis, I see it's a drop-down menu. I can click left vertical. And then I'll call that count, which is the number. I could also call it number of posts with category. I could also just call it count. I'll click update, and now I have a bar chart. I want you to do the same thing, okay? And I want you to do this for 30 Twitter posts for the hashtag women, 30 Twitter posts for the hashtag men, and I want you to come up with a set of categories. I want you to notice which ones are more common. Here we see sports, music, Instagram, clothing, and shopping are the most frequent. You may get a different set with women and men. You may get some interesting ones. Then I want you to write about it. Oh, that's a problem. Where do you write about something in a spreadsheet? Well, you don't. I want you to then head over to My Drive. Okay, and I want you to click on New and Google Docs. Okay, and this is going to open up a new window. It won't get rid of your old window. Google Docs is a word processing program. And here you can type in data collection on Twitter posts with hashtag boys, in my case, boys, and my name, and the date, and so on and so forth. And then I'll want to write words, words, words. Here is an introduction. Always good to have an introductory paragraph. And then I'm going to want to include that bar chart. Here is my bar chart. And then I'm going to, after the bar chart, I'm going to have interpretation. And I'm going to write that there. And then I'm going to say, I want to put my bar chart right in the middle. How do I do that? I'll just head right back over to the tab in my browser that contains this lovely post here. And I'm going to want to save it with a name, which is going to be boys hashtag data February 8, 2016, just to always know exactly what it's about. And now it's going to say, oh, it's saved the changes in the drive, so I can always go back and collect it if I need to. I'm going to click on this image again, this lovely bar chart, and I'm going to right click and see if I can copy that way. No, I can't. So if I can't copy that way, there are two other ways I can copy. I can click on it and I can hit Control, hold down Control and then C, or I can go up to Edit in the menu and select Copy directly. Now I'll head back to my word processing document, and I'm going to call this discussion of the boys hashtag on Twitter, categorized February 8, 2016. I'll never forget what that's about. And I go to the place where I want to insert it. I click there. I make sure the cursor's right there. And then I'm going to head up to Edit, and I'm going to hit Paste, Control V. And there it is. Perfect. You're going to want to write about it. You're going to want to compare the categories for the two sets of hashtags, which ones are most common for men, which ones are most common for women, what the differences are. I'm going to want you to write a short essay in which you think about that. You're going to be discovering something that no one's looked at before for your set of tweets. You're going to be seeing if there are gender differences. There may be, there may not be. Now, once you've done that, you need to go and you need to upload it, which is great. But how are you going to do that? Okay? Well, I don't want you to send me an email that says, oh, here's my Google Doc. Why? For a very personal reason, and it's good for you, which is that I don't want to lose your email. I have almost 200 students in a semester, and I feared that I might lose just one student's work if it appeared in an email box. If I get 200 emails in a week, I'm guaranteed to lose one, and even if I just lose one, if it's yours, you don't want that to happen. Instead, I'd like you to make sure that you upload your work to Blackboard. Why? Because Blackboard keeps it there. I can't lose your work in Blackboard, and that means you'll be sure to get credit for it. But that means you have to save this work. Okay, how are you going to do that? You'll go to File, because you're going to file it. And under File, you're going to click Download As, and I'd like you to download it as either a Microsoft Word document or a PDF document. You don't want plain text because you have a picture. Let's try PDF document. PDF stands for Portable Document Format, which means something that just about any computer, anywhere can read, which is always a good format to use. So I'm going to click on Download as PDF, and there it is. Now it's going to have downloaded somewhere on your computer, most likely a folder called Downloads. And there it is. It even has the title up at the top. I can check where it's saved by clicking Save As and then seeing what folder it's in. And it will tell me, oh look, it's in the Downloads folder. Great. So I know where to find it. And only one more step. Now that I've created this single document, which is easy to read, all the information is in one place. Of course, you want to write actual words here and not just words, words, words. And here is my bar chart. You'll want to be a little bit better in description than me. You're going to want to upload it. How do you do that? Well, we're going to head to Blackboard. You'll log in, look for your course, Sociology of Gender, and over on the left, Activities. And then you're going to look for the appropriate activity. In this case, hashtag women and hashtag men on Twitter. Now I'm going to show the view that you have, which is this student view. It'll look just like this. We'll want to hit Activities on the left, and here are all the activities. You'll want to click on the title, then you'll want to attach a file. And I'm going to go to downloads and I'm going to find it. Oh, look, there it is. Discussion of the boys hashtag on Twitter. Great. Categorized February 8th, 2016. It's a PDF file. Then I'll click open. And I see that it's there. And I'll write some comments like this. Dear Professor Cook, here is my work. I hope you like it. Please let me know if there are any problems with the file. Best, Professor Cook. Okay, that's kind of odd. But then the last thing I'm going to want to do, of course, is to click submit. You always want to make sure you've done that. And then it will show you. It will show you confirming, hey, look, it appears. Hey, look, here's the comments. And I'm going to click OK. That's just super. I've done it. Now for you, it's going to take a little bit more time. You should be ready to spend a little bit of time thinking about 30 tweets at once. It's going to be more categories. You're going to need to think about your categories a little bit more carefully, perhaps, than just engaging in categorization willy-nilly, because you can only fit so many in a chart or a graph. That's up to you to think about. It's up to you to be creative about. There's no set way to do this in terms of what categories you use, but I hope that I've shown you the technological aspect of it, which tools to use and how to use them in order to create a document that makes sense, that's reasonably attractive, and that communicates what you want to communicate well. I look forward to your work and learning a little bit about how the hashtag women and the hashtag men appear to differ.